Hey Poppy, how are you doing? Lovely to meet you.
Hi, I'm good, thanks. It's like talking to a celebrity because I've seen so many of your videos.
I
I
don't
used
know
to
about
listen
that.
to you on the headphones when I was doing my housework.
Really? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Oh my goodness. I often I often forget that actually. I'll sometimes when I meet people and they sometimes seem familiar with me and I'm like, I've never met you. But because I've seen and watched and heard so many of my videos. Anyway, lovely to meet you in person then and live and not on YouTube. Poppy, how are you feeling now you've passed everything? How does it feel?
I've got a lot more time on my hands now because I'm not studying every night for
Mm,
something, after work. So I work during the day. I'm a domestic abuse practitioner.
yeah,
So I would finish work and then I would get out my videos and my worksheets, or I'd be meeting with Raj and I'd be thinking about my competencies or my answers to my questions. But now I can sort of relax on that a bit. So that's nice.
oh, great. And you got that feeling of knowing that, yeah, I've got a few more steps, maybe medical fitness to do, but the tough stuff's out the way. And
Yeah.
it's there for you. It's the job is there for you. How does that feel? Knowing that you're gonna get, I don't know, have you got a start date yet?
Well, they've got an intake in December. At the
Hmm.
moment, I've done medical. They've just sent out professional standards questionnaire. They've
Yeah,
not given me my link yet to the proper vetting. They've asked me for my references. So it's coming in little dribs and drabs.
yeah. So it's looking good for December then.
Yeah.
How exciting. And I believe the route that you've gone for is the detective route.
Yeah, DHEPS, that's degree
Yeah,
holder entry program. Yeah.
and that was challenging. So yeah, brilliant, brilliant. So let me just check in with you then. So before you came and joined us, you mentioned how you watched a lot of my videos. How 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 do you feel in terms of your confidence to be able to approach the online assessment center in the final interview?
I chatted to Debbie literally a couple of days before my online assessment centre, and I don't think I would have passed without it because the scenario changed. Literally,
Yeah.
that's why I contacted Blue Light, because I was reading on the Facebook group about the scenarios changed from the noisy
Hmm.
party. And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this. I'm going to fail this unless I get some help. So it's been like really quick process. And then a couple of days after my assessment centre, before I'd even got my results back, they're asking me, can I come to this interview date? So it's been really, really, really quick.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So if you'd not been with us, then you don't feel as though you would have passed the online assessment center to actually get the interview.
No, I don't think so, because I would have not felt prepared. I would have been so stumped on this new
Yeah.
scenario, and I didn't really understand what the briefing exercise really was. And
Mm.
so,
Yeah, there's a lot of people just like yourself. Of course, you've got the 20-something page document from the College of Police and it tells you all about it, but actually it doesn't really tell you that much, does it? Um, Here's something I want to ask. I'm often interested in this. How in the College of Policing guidance it says you don't really need to have much knowledge of police or any knowledge of policing. But we've got a written exercise where they put you in the role of a constable and a briefing exercise where they put you in the role of a constable. So how true would you say that phrase is?
that's not true at all, especially the written exercise. I mean, I've got experience of partner agency working because of my job.
Mm,
So and also I did the seminars with Catherine. So, and one of them we went through that written exercise. So I knew what agencies to suggest that in that exercise you should be liaising with. But
yeah.
if someone, say I was working in Asda and I went in completely blind, I wouldn't have a clue what I was doing on
Mm.
that exercise at all.
Yeah, I think they presume a lot, don't they? They tell you one thing, you don't need to have knowledge of policing, and then actually there's partnership work, problem solving, got to have a systematic process to do it, got to know what different agencies do. Um, and I think the trick is it'd be easy, I think, if you didn't have any knowledge like you have now, having worked with us.
Mm.
I think it'd probably be easy to start thinking, I'll take an enforcement based approach.
Mm.
Let's
Yeah.
take an enforcement based approach which of course I don't know. I mean, I suspect you wouldn't score that high. I suspect you might even fail if you took an enforcement approach. And I think that's the trap, because people who don't have that sort of access to the sort of um, years of experience that we have probably think that, oh yeah, it's antisocial behavior, it's criminal damage, it's crime, it's this type of crime, it's that type of crime. Yeah, we need to take an enforcement-based approach to stop people doing this and arrest them and bring them in front of the courts. And actually, that's not what it's looking for. It's not what it's looking for. So I think that's probably a bit of a trap there. Good, you didn't fall into it. So that was working with Catherine a little bit for, I thought it was Raj you worked with, or was that just for the online
Yeah.
assessment centre?
So Raj was my coach for the final interview,
Yeah.
but these were seminars that I did some work
Ah,
with
right.
Catherine
Yes.
in. Yeah,
Yeah.
the where there would be a group of us and we'd run
Yeah.
through, you know, the exercises. So
Gotcha. So how did you find those webinars then?
oh, they're great. Yeah, really, really great, really helpful, especially when Catherine was inviting us who was in the seminar to practice some of our answers.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the group were feeding back on it, and that was really helpful. You know, just to be able to say it out loud
Hmm.
helps to an audience.
Yeah, yeah. And then bouncing ideas around as well. That's always useful. And then building up. But that was all short notice, wasn't it? So the idea is that it builds up to the one-to-ones with your coach. So your coach was Raj, but that was for the final interview. Did you get to attend any of the webinars for the final interview, or was it that fast? It was all happening that fast.
They were the Sunday night ones, weren't they? I
Yeah,
think I did two. I managed to get two in before I
right.
had my interview. Yeah, and all of my sessions with Raj, 'cause bless him, his father passed away. So, you know, but they were all in very, very close succession, literally like within a week and a half, because that's all the
Hmm.
time I had to prepare. And it was so good of him to carry on coaching after his terrible news he had. So I really appreciated that he was that committed, you know.
Yeah, oh, he's awesome. He's awesome, Raj.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so it's a shame you didn't get to attend more of the webinars, because that sort of reinforces a lot of learning. But you know, it still worked out for you. Did you watch any of the recordings as well?
I used to listen to those webinar recordings and some of your videos when I was just pottering around the house doing things that I needed to
Yeah.
do, whether it be my housework or folding laundry or whatever it was I was doing. I would just have my earbuds in and I'd be listening to either a seminar or to you talking. So
Oh, awesome. I did come across someone once who said, yeah, exactly the same as you. Like, I'm just listening, I'm watching all the time, I'm immersing myself completely. By the way, you know, that is the way to pass. You know, plan, prepare, and practice, and practice, and practice, and practice, and talk it over in your head, and talk it over to other people, and practice on the webinars, and practice with your coach. You know, it doesn't happen by osmosis. There's no injection of knowledge and understanding. You've got to work hard, haven't you? But I
yeah,
did come across someone once who said, yeah, and then when I go to bed, I've recorded the videos onto an audio, and I've just got them on permanent loop. And I put my headphones on, go to sleep, and they're just on permanent loop. So even though I'm asleep, I'm still listening to you guys on the webinars and on your videos. And I figured that I'm still learning even though I'm asleep. Now I don't know if that works at all. I wouldn't advise anyone to do it. It just sounds like strange nightmares to me. You know, the loops are strange nightmares. But um, kudos to you. You know, you put the hard work in and it's paid off. Brilliant. Um, so what would you say is the one thing that made a difference for you then in terms of the service we provided, the coaching, the webinars? What would you say that one thing is that we did that made the difference for you, or the biggest difference?
I don't know if it's one thing. It's the specifics, like the specific learning. Like there was things that I would have said in my interview that I wouldn't have said had I not had yourself and Raj, etc. But one thing I found really great was your anecdotes, like about policing in Bermuda, community policing, and that I felt like that really instilled in me, like how to be your best possible officer, and that's something I would carry with me and remember things that you'd said in years to come in my career. And it gets you in that mindset of, what is it that you say, your best future constable,
Yeah.
listening to you talking about all of the ethics and professional standards and different scenarios. And I loved your story about the guy that was the antisocial behavior family, and then he's failed his gardening exam, and that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Oh gosh, yeah, I remember him now. I can't remember his name, but I do remember being flagged down by him, um, and getting out the car, and he was like, "You remember me, don't you? Yeah, yeah, not seen you for ages." And um, yeah, and I can still remember that moment where he said, "Yeah, I've failed my gardening exam. I'm gutted." And just a year before, he was one of our target offenders, and yeah, that's hard policing, though. That's hard policing. Enforcement is easy. Well, I say it's easy. It's easy if you've got lots of experience, but it's that problem solving to help people, to steer them away from that life of crime, or to help them have better lives, or especially young people as well, to help young people have much better futures than they would have without the interaction. And you'll understand this from your role, that we could take a punitive approach to those people who commit acts of domestic violence, but ultimately we want to find a way to steer them away from that kind of behavior.
Oh,
um,
absolutely.
yeah, and ultimately at times, the best place for them might be rehabilitated with their partner and with their children. We're not, and this was a family very much like that. You just reminded me. I'm sorry, I'm on my soapbox now, because it was such a special, it was such hard work. The commitment that my officers and my team put into this one family, and lots of other families and individuals, but they had kids, and their kids had been taken away from them by social services, put into care, and the social services were not keen on getting the family back together again, because they just thought it's just too chaotic, it's too volatile. Um, they had any meetings with the children had to be supervised, and we could just see, when we sat down as a partnership, we could just see this going in the wrong direction. We could just see this getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And that's when we started. I'd already got this mindset that the hard work is in preventing this. The hard work is breaking the cycle. The hard work is breaking the cycle, so the children don't grow up like their parents. So that the children, even though they've got all of these adverse impacts in their life, we can break that cycle, and that's tough. So yeah, I'm so pleased that that's been helpful for you. And you're not the first there to say that, actually, I'm going to take a lot of what I've learned into my time as a police officer. And I get police officers coming to me for sergeant's preparation, inspector preparation, and they can still remember a lot of the learning that came out of the program that you've just been through. And they've said, yeah, I put this into practice every day, just being the best version of my constable self. It's what I strive to do every day, and I just think that's wonderful. And it sort of touches my heart a little bit, and it really does. It just makes me think, yeah, it's such a privilege and an honor to be able to help people to be their best versions of the best version of their future constable self. Brilliant, fantastic. I love that, Poppy. I love that. Thank you. Can I just ask you one final question? So, if just imagine there's people out there who may have just come across my videos, or may have just joined the Facebook group, and they're thinking, is this academy something worth doing? What advice would you give them?
Absolutely, it's something worth doing. I'll say it's not cheap, but it is absolutely worth it. Especially if for someone that had more time on their hands than I had, could delve into it a bit further. I was sort of chucked in the deep end a bit, but so without it, I would have never have got as far as I did. You know, so I say absolutely, it's worth it. There's so much great information in there. The coaching's great. I'm sure all the other coaches are as great as Raj is. Your videos are brilliant. I just love listening to your video. I've been listening to you for a couple of years now, just the ones on YouTube and
Hmm.
watching and stuff. But the ones on the actual course are just fantastic.
Oh, it's great to hear. Thank you. Oh, that's lovely, lovely thing to say. Thank you. Thank you. Well, Poppy, I'll let you go in a moment. That's really nice of you to say those kind words. And I'll pass those comments on to Catherine and Raj as well. The last thing to say is we've got good news and bad news for you. Which one would you like first?
Oh, bad news first, please.
Well, the bad news is you're stuck with us now for a long time. That's kind of the good news as well. You know, you're one of our alumni now, and we're dearly, and I mean this really, really, I really do mean this. We thrive off getting updates from people. So things like, you know, here's a photograph of me at my passing out parade, or here's me getting my certificate of service with the chief constable, you know, stuff like that. Please do send those to us because we absolutely thrive on that. We've got an alumni group that you'll get invited to. It's not as active as it should be at the moment, but it will get more active soon. So join that group. And I really mean this as well. So there may be a time sometime in your career where you think, I'm a bit stuck and I don't know where to turn. You know, I've asked my sergeant about this conundrum I've got, and I'm not sure about the advice or whatever it is. You know, you are going to come across conundrums. You are going to come across ethical dilemmas. It's the nature of being in the police. Collectively as a team, we've got over 150 years worth of experience. And I think on my team, we've got some of the best police officers I've ever had the privilege of serving with or knowing. So, and in terms of their ethics as well, you know, they had the code of ethics in their DNA before the code of ethics was invented. So these are incredible officers. If you ever feel as though you're at that point where you just need someone to listen to you or give you some advice and you don't know where to turn, please do turn to us.
Thank
Please do
you.
turn to us. And I really mean that as well, because I wish I'd had someone who I could reach out to for some of the ethical dilemmas I've had during my time as a police officer. So we will do that for you, and we'll just drop everything. If it's like the bat phone, if you just ring up and say, I really need to talk to someone, it'll be either Raj, Catherine, me, or someone else from the team, will be that listening ear for you to help you find the best way forward based on the experience that we have. So please, I really do mean that. And it'd be lovely to talk to you, and I hope to see you again in the future at some point on one of the webinars for our alumni or whatever it might be. Sergeants board in a few years' time, who knows? Specialist positions, whatever it is, we're here for you, Poppy. Lovely to meet you this afternoon, and I don't, and you know me, I never wish people luck, because if you feel as though you need luck, it means you've not prepared and practiced enough. But I wish you an amazing career. And I know from talking to my colleagues and talking to yourself, it will be amazing for you. You can have the best time. And please do keep in touch.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Brendan.
Okay, take care, Poppy, and we'll catch up soon. Bye bye for now.
Bye.